82%. Ouch. Usually that's a good number if you get it on a test, but not if it's your second week in the box office and your big studio movie like Joker 2. P-USA. Not only did Joker 2 fall dramatically in week 1, just ate a pile of duty in week 2. It didn't even come in number 1. It didn't even come in number 2. It came in number 3. Oof. What's worse? The beating that Joker 2 took or that the Cowboys took? Suck it, Winston. We have a lot to talk about. That, Terrifier being the number 1 at the box office. So much more with me and John Rocha on the show here today. So let's get to it, everybody. It's the show. It's me. It's John Rocha. It's live. Here we go. That's not it. That's the wrong show. That's the wrong show. That's not the show we're doing. God. That's also not the show we're doing. That's not the show. Wait, that's...
Jesus Christ.
Welcome back, everybody. Got it rolling, cooking, moving, grooving. John Rocha, what's up, man?
Hello, man.
How you doing?
This ain't Capes and Cows, son.
No, it's not. I know.
It's a one-day show, for God's sake.
I got one person. I had PLD this morning saying, "Hey, can you do this?" I said, "No, I can't. I have nothing. I have absolutely no time to do anything." Plus, last week when your kids are when you have kids and they're sick, it's over. Like I was supposed to have 3 movie reactions out last week. I got none of them done. I was supposed to have the Penguin done. Nothing. Haven't seen Penguin. It was all last week. I was a bust. It was a bust. My kid had 104 fever for like a bunch. She finally kicked out of it. She's fine now, but it was not easy. So I was supposed to do Rebel Ridge this weekend. I was supposed to do start the Venom series with my wife. I was supposed to do all this stuff. It was something. I will say this. This is something that I'm hoping, John. I hope I'm in an office building here, and I like it a lot. And I really like the people who are in this building.
Sure.
I never really cared whether or not people in my work environment that weren't related to it watch my show or don't watch my stuff, right? Uh-huh. I really hope that there's a particular person that is watching my show in this building.
Oh,
it
feels like a story.
Yeah, it's just one guy. He's not only is he lighting the bathroom up every day, this guy, he's lighting it up, and there's a spray, guy. There's a spray. That's part one. There's a spray. The other part is he leaves a water bottle in this. It's like a half-drank water bottle every time he takes it. Take the water bottle out. I don't need it. I appreciate the concern, whether you think I'm perched, but I'm not going to drink your water bottle because I don't know if you're wiping your hands, and it stinks in there, buddy. So just sit, then I'll walk out. You lighten it up.
Wow.
And he lights it up.
Light it up. Light it up.
That's what he's doing. I hear it like the crow. Fire it up. It's absolutely horrible.
That is hilarious, man. I'm sorry. I mean, we dealt with that at Collider, right? Like we had one bathroom.
Yeah.
And everyone was using...
Well, that bad one. The bad one was at the old studio.
Right.
Do you remember my favorite Fernandez quote of all time? Have I already told you this one?
No, tell me.
It's my favorite Fernandez quote of all time. And I'm sure I've told it on this show a million times, but I have to tell it because it makes me laugh every time. We were sharing an office space with these guys that we're about 99% sure that they stole our cameras.
They absolutely
100%. 100%. I would say that these people were stealing and stole from us. However, there was this bathroom that we all shared, and it was like a closed little space with no windows. It was horrible. So Fernandez and I walked in this bathroom at the same time, and it was brutal in there. And Fernandez goes, "Oh, somebody had a bad day." It was so good. It killed me. It absolutely killed me. Somebody had a bad day. It's so good. I use it all the time. Anyway, you know who had a bad day? Joker 2. Had a bad 2 weeks.
Ugh.
Brutal, John. Absolutely.
We just don't get it. We just don't get it.
No, we don't understand it. It's our fault.
We don't understand it.
We're going to go to the club. For people who don't understand the end of the Joker 2, they're going to go right to the right and understand the Acolyte right after that. So here is what I do understand. Someone's head going to roll because this is... Yeah, it has to. You can't do this. You can't do this. Who? I mean, the question is who, I guess, but this is brutal. With Sunday's estimates in, the numbers are looking great for the ultra-gory, micro-budget, independent horror film Terrifier 3, but not so good for the big-budget studio sequel Joker Folia Doo-Doo. Terrifier 3. easily took the top spot in North America, collecting a stellar $18.3 million in its opening weekend. It's made for just $2 million. Are you getting this? Everybody, again, I'll repeat it. It made $18.3 million. It was made for $2 million. Once again, it made $18.3 million. It cost $2 million. Wake up, Hollywood. Get your heads out of your asses. And it is scoring good reviews from critics along with a solid B cinema score. This is a huge win. It is the third movie in the franchise. It cost $2 million. Morons. It's a huge win for filmmaker Damien Leone and the filmmaker team like Bloody Disgusting legend Brad Miska, who executive produced. The film pushed Joker Folly of Due into third place, with that project just taking $7.1 million on a film that cost almost $200 million. It's an astonishing 82% decline from an already disastrous $37.6 million debut. One of the biggest second weekend drops ever for a major studio film, beating last year's crop of duds like The Marvels, The Flash, Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. The film could end up in fourth place behind the sixth weekend of Beetlejuice once the last numbers are in. It could be in fourth place behind a movie that's been out for over a month and a half. Joker Folly of Crap is taking overseas as well, just not quite as hard. I don't even want to say that. I didn't even hate the movie that much. I didn't even mind the movie that much. It's not, the ending was terrible. I say this because of what it's the further frustration of the studios. That's where I say it. It's the situation that's the doo-doo. It's the situation that's the crap, that these people keep doing this over and over and over again. What is faring better is DreamWorks' A Wild Robot. $24.1 million overseas in 55 territories with plenty of key markets, yet open as the global release is still being staggered. $148 million, probably to date, with many weeks left of life, and it's coming on digital like next week or something.
Yeah, I think tomorrow.
Tomorrow, which is crazy. Domestically, some smaller films had some rough starts. Pharrell Williams' Lego biopic, Piece by Piece, came under expectations, 3.8. Saturday Night struggled to break through as it went wide and pulled in just 3.4 million in seventh place. And the Donald Trump biopic, The Apprentice, didn't even crack the top 10. That's not a surprise at all. Just taking 1.58 million. So much here. What do you want to go with first? You want to go with the obvious first, or if something else stand out to you?
Let's go with the obvious, and then we'll swing back to the other stuff. But I mean, look, 82%, that is an absolute rejection of the movie, right? For all the people who are out here trying to claim that they're super intellectuals and they've all received PhDs in film criticism and trying to tell you how you're all ridiculous for not liking the Joker 2, who gives a shit? 82% is enough of an indicator of how little interest there is in this movie. This is a colossal error, like colossal. This is more colossal than The Flash.
Yes.
Right? Because we anticipated The Flash. Ezra Miller, there were troubles. Everyone was excited for this movie. It made $1 billion, and you bring these people back. And I said this on the hot mic last week with Jeff, is that I think the mistake here is that Todd Phillips, who has a spotty track record as a director, by the way, was able to hold have Warner Brothers over the barrel to the point where he didn't have to do screenings. He didn't have to do focus groups or test screenings, and he had final cut. And I get it. You go, oh, well, he made $1 billion. So what? This is a movie studio that existed for decades, for centuries. They do not have to kowtow to a filmmaker who has a lot of misses on his resume and let him put all of this in motion. I don't think there's anybody to blame for greenlighting it, but going to 200 and then removing yourself completely as a studio, you have to wonder who okayed all of this. Was this Zaslav who told Abdi and DeLuca, look, give him whatever he wants. I don't care. We need to make money. And this could be another colossal misstep and misjudgment by Zaslav. Because I'll tell you this, if he'd released Batgirl, it wouldn't have made as big of a terrible splash as this.
Oh, I don't know. There's a difference. I mean, there's one argument to say that you're correct because you're looking at
my head usually
in your head, but there's also you could say, well, no, the reason he's saying that is because you look at the success of the first one, And the fact that the second one was tracking at $120 million and it doesn't even break 40. And then in the second weekend, 83. It's you're working on something that was a sure hit and a surefire, and then you just blew it. So that argument, true. However, if you're also making a big movie in the Batman franchise, in Batgirl, and you have Michael Keaton coming back as Batman, and you have to spend all this money to market it, and who knows what the production budget was, I don't remember, and it just completely eats a pile of garbage and doesn't even crack 20, 30 million. It still could be a big stinker. So I think they both were massive mistakes. The question is, you took the hit. At least you took the hit with Batgirl. You didn't release it. You didn't do any marketing on it, and it's never going to see the light of day. You get a tax credit. I understand. You have to take the shot with Joker. You have to take the shot. And I think that, to go to your point, I think what it is, it's not a matter of saying, okay, look, the guy proved himself. He made us $1 billion, and we didn't give him that much money to do it the first time. Let's not give him that much. And what, he doesn't want to go? He doesn't want to go outside of L.A.? Oh, yeah. So I want you to, when I say the following words, I want you to repeat this to Todd. Yeah, okay. I want you to tell him tough shit. Can you tell him that? Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, he's coming back and he says he's not going to do it then. Okay, then tell him that we're going to bring someone else to do it. Joaquin won't do it then. Then the whole thing's going down. We're not doing it then. Then we won't do it then. But it also goes to prove that it was probably them knocking on his door. He's like, we don't want to do this again. Joaquin's like, I don't want to do this again. And he's like, money, money, money. Money, money, you have to do this for us. He's like, okay, I'm going to do whatever I want. And you put yourself in a position. If the director and everybody else doesn't want to do it, and there's no real story for it, and then it turns into, well, he wants to do a musical now. Well, I don't know, just let him do it. And I don't think the musical was the problem. I'm just saying.
I don't think so either.
No, and he wants
such a ridiculous narrative.
It's not just the musical. There's a lot of things that when I thoroughly disagree with people who are saying, that, going to your point of what people have been saying. If you think it negates the first one, then you didn't understand the first one. No, I understood the first one pretty good. It totally negates it. It 100% negates it. At the end of that movie, and people are like, well, he did kill the doctor, or he didn't kill the doctor. She's sitting in the courtroom. They don't explain it. They tell you nothing. They don't say it was a dream. They don't say it was in his head. They don't say anything. You can't just, this isn't Sopranos when you start making up an ending going, oh, I think that's what it meant. It went to black. So yeah, I think that's what it means. That's not what this movie is. People are making excuses for it. And it's like, no.
Yes.
Yeah. So it's a mess. And also why I kept, and I also said, I don't even, like, what I want to do, and I want to also acknowledge, because there's so many positive people in the comments section consistently every day since we've been going here. And I also want to make sure we acknowledge that, make sure we keep having, like, there's so much goodwill and everything in here, but because I don't want to keep addressing, because this isn't even necessarily negative, but someone's like, oh, this is, you might as well watch one of the hate channels if you're doing this. It's like, no. You're allowed to point out what's going on and what's going wrong in the system. You cannot be, completely just hateful about it, but you can say, who in the world puts in this kind of money and then says, just let them run wild? And this is a big disaster for Warner Brothers. It's a disaster.
I think it's ironic that the same people who got mad at people for defending the Marvels and saying, like, the Marvels, people have been saying, oh, it had a conspiracy against it, and people were against that film from the beginning, and they scoffed at those people, are the same people now saying, you don't get the Joker too, you don't understand this movie, it's such a brilliant movie. It's like, they're both way off base. The public speaks about what is good and what isn't, what they're interested in at least, and what there isn't, and what they aren't, and they don't, and they go and patronize the films, or they don't. And it's a very clear indication. Here's the actual truth about both of those movies. There are some fantastic performances, both the Marvels and the Joker, too, and there are some good scenes in both of those movies, but both of those movies are not good movies overall, do not achieve what they set out to achieve. You may believe differently, but clearly the public has spoken, and it's not about conspiracy theories or it's black female and any of that nonsense. It's about the fact you delivered not a good movie with a diversity-led film and not a good movie with a white-led film. They're just not good movies. That's the actual honest truth. Yeah. And most people who are in the middle feel this way about it. And that's why both of those films bombed. There's no conspiracy and no highbrow intellectual thing that we're all going to discover all of a sudden 10 years from now about Joker 2. It was middling commentary that a teenager would have written in high school. It really isn't that difficult of a film to conceive of what the actual point of it was. You just didn't get there.
And you lost your core audience. You lost the core audience. The people that you were marketing for, you lost them. And when that happens, it's over. However, when you are targeting them, and you're targeting just them, and you just spend $2 million to target them and you make 20 million, well, then you have made a very successful film. And that is why, as we mentioned, with the $230 million budget of The Acolyte, saying, who are we making this for? Everybody. I don't know. I just saw it. I don't think it's for everybody. Yeah, it's for everybody. But I don't think that's true. Can we bring the budget down? No. $230 million makes a lot of sense. Should have been made for $230. But you then say, okay, well, who's Terrifier for? It's for that. I'm never going to watch that movie. I have no interest in that film. I'm sure that it's for horror fans. Horror fans love it. Critics who have seen it, horror fans love it. It's brutal. It is, I guess, complete torture porn and all that kind of stuff too. Not my thing. But it clearly is aimed. Now, if that movie costs $150 million,
oh my God,
people should be fired, right? And anybody who greenlit it, because you're not going to hit that. But when you make it for $2 million and it makes $20 million, that is a massive hit, and it will continue to be leading up to Halloween. It's just like business at this point. That I want somebody to say, "Hey, why don't we?" It doesn't have to just be horror films made for these smaller budgets. Let's go ahead. Look at so a movie that's going to be a smaller budget that's not going to get the big push is the Florence Pugh and Andrew Garfield movie that I saw. Right?
Yeah.
Did you see that one? Yeah, it was good. You'll like it. It's a very and what I will say about her is that she's a phenomenal actress. I always said she's a good actress. Still, I'm not going to lie to you. A couple different times watching her going, Rocha's nuts.
You're insane.
You're nuts. I watched a couple times. You're nuts.
She's gorgeous.
Yeah, go watch Notting Hill. Anyway, so as we are going back to this is not the type of movie that can make, a lot of money. It's not. It's a movie that could probably honestly be made on streaming. But it's like but you're taking a shot at a smaller made movie with big talent, so you're probably going to get some Oscar buzz and stuff like that. So you know why it's made. And I want to see the boost and the boom of those things. You're never going to get rid of the big budget movies because you're going to need some of them. But you got to understand, I guess that's the magic of it. When you're going to spend that kind of money, and it's okay to say no to your directors. It's okay. They're going to walk away, and we're going to be left with somebody else. Well, then somebody else will have to do a better job, and then somebody else is going to have to prove themselves because this has to stop.
Somewhere in the middle is the truth, right? Yes, studios at times have meddled with films and ruined them and messed with them and berated creatives and made them feel terrible and mess with them. On the other side, creatives have also at times abused the license, abused the freedom they've gotten from studios and delivered films that are going to sink a studio or cause a studio to lose a lot of money while they keep cashing their checks, right? And so this is the game you have to play. And you're 100% right, Kristian. There's a studio, and that's why the great executives are the great executives, because they have a track record of being able to figure out which films they sense are going to be successes and which films are going to be failures, and find the stars that are going to be the mass appeal stars who are coming up. And so that's the difference there. And so to this idea they hold one side or the other, they both need to be held accountable for the situation that we're in now.
It really is a bummer because the Joker won, and I forget where you stand on it, but did you like the Joker, the first Joker?
I love Joker.
The first Joker is amazing. Great. First Joker is an amazing film. It's like I think it was my favorite that year. First Joker is great. You love the first Joker too. Yes. So it's to see what they did with the second one. It's just it sucks. It sucks. So anyway, then you look at The Wild Robot, which is also if not winning, it's definitely gonna be nominated for Best Animated Picture.
Yeah,
you saw it, right?
No, I haven't seen it. I'm going to watch
it
tomorrow as a reaction video. So
you are going to watch it. Okay, that's a good one to watch. That's a good one to do.
I hear it's great.
Yeah, you're gonna really enjoy it. So I think that the fact that I don't even know if Joker will be in top 5 next week. I don't even know if it'll be in top 5. Maybe if it's lucky, he'll hit 5, and that's as they said, Beetlejuice. Still,
it'll be down in the bottom.
Crazy. Anyway, how far we've fallen. Yeah. So put your comments in there, guys. Let me know what you think. We've got a lot more to cover. Before we do that, I'm going to tell you we got 2 wonderful sponsors that I've talked about many times over. I'm going to tell you about Joy Mode. I'm going to tell you about the Perfect Jean. Here you go. Let's talk about jeans. Yeah. I recently got a pair from the Perfect Jean. You guys heard me talk about them. And they're basically the unicorn of jeans. Why? Well, they fit like a dream. They look fantastic, and they are so comfy. I forget I'm even wearing pants. In case you don't know, this is an ad, and the Perfect Gene told me to say this, but I wouldn't lie about how awesome these jeans are, because they really do live up to the name. I have mentioned, you guys have seen my wife now. She does not BS. And she said, hey, you look good in those jeans. I said, you like these? She said, I love them. Wear them more. And they fit like they were custom made. They stretch like you wouldn't believe, and they look fantastic. The Perfect Gene, they also have a seriously massive range of sizes with 6 fits from skinny to thick waist sizes from 26 to 50 and lengths 26 to 38. Doesn't matter. It's finally time to stop crushing your nuts in uncomfortable jeans by going to theperfectgene.nyc. Once again, our listeners will get 15% off your first order plus free shipping, free returns, free exchange when you use that code BIGTHING at checkout. 15% off for new customers at theperfectgene.nyc. Use that promo code BIGTHING. After your purchase, they're going to ask you where you heard about them. You got to support our show. You have to say that we sent you. F your khakis. Get the Perfect Gene, baby. I love Joy Mode. I love Joy Mode. It's not about better sex. You know what it is about Joy Mode? It supports healthier blood vessels. It boosts heart health. It enhances your athletic performance. Yeah, you didn't know that, did you, about Joy Mode? Well, I'm telling you. Expertly formulated and backed by science, it is proven to improve erectile function by 50% in just 60 days. You mix it with a pack of water and you feel the effects within 45 minutes. You take control with Joy Mode. Get a boost anytime, anywhere, never miss a beat. It features 4 simple, proven ingredients. Unlike prescription options that involve doctor visits and managing refills, Joy Mode provides a straightforward, effective solution. You embrace a natural way to boost your performance without the complications and side effects of traditional medications. I've told you about Joy Mode. It is great. Right beforehand, you drink it. And I'm telling you, it's like going to the gym, you have a supplement, same thing, and it is wonderful. It's the best. If you're looking to take your game to the next level, try joymode.com, and you use the code BIGTHING at checkout for 20% off. That's right, TRYJOYMODE.com. Use that code BIGTHING for 20% off your first order. Joy Mode, get it. Thank you to our friends over at Joy Mode and the Perfect Gene. As I mention each and every time, make sure that you head on over to the link in the description. You want to help us out, you can do that by getting one of our sponsors, but you help yourself out. Browse around. Take a look. That's what we're talking about here. Make sure that you do it. All right. So we have something else, John.
Okay.
Guess what? There's some, I realize, as I mentioned to you,
Yeah.
I don't think that I can address people who are being negative in the comments anymore. I don't think I can do it. But fortunately enough, I have somebody that I think can do it.
Oh, no.
You know what I'm talking about. Yeah, big balls here. Hey, figure drawing. Yeah, I see you. I see you there. Why don't you shove your head up your asshole? Just take a sniff. He says that Kristian and John, they sitting there and they talking about the Terrifier and they ain't seen it and they're still talking about it. It's called a news story, you stupid ass. That's what we do. We're talking news. That's right. I got news for you. I'm gonna rape my pop balls. Take my draping on my balls. I'm going to drape my balls on your face. Yeah.
Thank you. That's what he does. He's going to drape his balls. That's what he's talking about now.
Not surprised.
What the hell's wrong with that guy? You don't want to piss off the chipmunk. I say leave him alone. Guy's a nice guy, just making comments. Leave him alone.
A news story. I've never heard of a news story.
I don't even know what a news story is. It's unbelievable. Yeah. Unbelievable.
How many people watching it? Never mind. Go ahead.
Yeah. Anyway, so we got some stuff, other things to discuss.
Please.
Other things to discuss, and we have some stuff here. When we have the, the DC is another thing altogether when we're discussing Joker. So all these movies that didn't do very well, and we're talking about how DC needs to actually pick it back up and start doing it. Well, Superman is the one. That's the one that's got to work. Has to work. And if it doesn't work, they're in trouble. Well, they've been planning this. They understand it. And when they put an assembly cut together, they're like, okay, we're moving. Well, apparently the assembly cut for Superman, it's already done. It was done a while ago.
What?
Good news for them. So here's the story itself. Okay. Superman assembly cut was done ages ago. Ages, they say. Wow. Filmmaker James Gunn wrapped filming his Superman in July, and they quickly got to work shooting several episodes of the second season of Peacemaker, which will shortly wrap. Despite everything keeping him busy, including co-running DC Studios, he was asked on Threads how Superman is going, and he confirmed that his assembly cut of the film is not only complete, but it has been for a while. that rough first edit comes ahead of proper editing on the film, and post-production work is already well underway ahead of its release next July. When we will get our first look at this new Superman is the big question, with the recent reports suggesting that a first trailer could be out before year's end. Superman stars David Corenswet as Clark Kent, the Man of Steel, Richard Brosnan, yada, yada, yada. Superman will open up in July. I am shocked by this, not at all.
Okay.
Because this is the whole thing when the guy who's directing the movie runs the studio. He's not, who's giving him notes? Peter Safran? You know what I mean? He's not getting notes. He doesn't need to get notes. He's like, I know what I need. It's all on me. It's all on my shoulders. I know what I have to do. This is my plan. I am putting it together. I plan to have this out by then. I have to have this cut done by then. Normally what happens is the studio exec says, okay, hey, so-and-so, we need this done by then. He's not ready yet. They're pushing it back. They have a few more things. The cut's not going to be ready. Well, we'll give him until then, but it would be great if he had it then. It's not ready then. It's him. He's running everything. So this doesn't shock me. It's great. It shows he's on schedule, which is wonderful. But it doesn't shock me that it's done. He's got a plan. Do you disagree?
No. And I think you make an excellent point. This side of it of who's going to give him the notes. I mean, I think that's the most important thing. And look, James has a lot of confidence in what he's doing. And clearly, if he's out there hanging out on threads, hanging out on social media, responding to people, shooting Peacemaker, shooting Superman, claiming that he doesn't need to do reshoots because he knows exactly what he's doing with this film, then the excitement is there. Like, I'm okay, let's go. Let's see. No one, I better not hear one damn excuse if this film doesn't come out well. I don't want to hear about budget. I don't want to hear about writers. I don't want to hear about actors. I don't want to hear about the studio involvement or interference. I don't want to hear bupkis. This is very clear that this is all on James Gunn. This is coordinated by James Gunn. This is going at the pace that James Gunn wants to go to, and he's got supreme confidence in what he's going to deliver. So when we go see the movie, James Gunn is who we're going to be judging in that film. James Gunn is a director, James Gunn is a creator, is who we're going to be judging in this Superman film. And if this is going to be a harbinger of what's to come, either good or bad. So in that way, I think it's kind of a unique situation, and I'm looking forward to it because Feige ain't making movies. Feige ain't directing films. Right. It's James Gunn who's doing both, which is a really curious situation.
It is, and it's good for him. You know, it's if he can make it, especially if he can make it work. And he's casting. We talked about this the other day on Capes and Cows. He's an extremely loyal guy. You know he is. It's one of those things where sometimes we'll see over how it works. Because I had on. Did you watch the franchise yet? By the way,
I have not started. The franchise.
You love that show.
You like it?
It's great. And I had Billy Magnuson on, and I asked him about Booster Gold. Because I think he'd be a perfect Booster Gold. And his answer was, when I said, he was interesting because I said, have you had, because he's on the Warner Brothers lot, he's doing these things. I said, and he's done DC voices. And I said, have you met with James Gunn? He's like, no, it's a very hard circle to crack. Then because I don't even know if James Gunn knows I exist. I'm like, how would James Gunn not know Billy Magnuson exists? And then we cut that out, the video of it, and I put it on Twitter, and it's got something like 40,000 views already, but I tagged James Gunn on it. And I want to make, because he looks at all this stuff. Hopefully he sees it. But that guy needs to at least get a meeting. If not because he said he actually hasn't cast Booster Gold yet on Threads.
All right. Yeah.
He said he hasn't done it yet. I like Camille, but I don't think he's the guy for that role.
You like Billy, but you don't think he's a Booster.
No, I like Billy. I say Camille Nujani. Is that how you say it?
Nujani? Yeah.
I don't think he's the right role. Right for that role. I think and I think that he's one of those guys that they're relying too much on to play those roles now, because he seems to be in Ghostbusters and in Marvel and all these different. He's great.
I don't disagree with you. I think he's the wrong choice.
He's
Booster
funny.
Is who Booster is, and I don't think anything about Kumail radiates Booster. And even seeing him this recent season on What Murders, whatever it is, the Murders in the Building, I think he's fine in the show, but he's not standing out in any way above anybody else.
He's talented. He's a talented guy, and I like seeing when he shows up. He's like one of those guys. He makes you feel good when he shows up because he's funny. Right. He's fun. And even with Ghostbusters, my wife wasn't as familiar with him. She's like, he's really good. Like, he is really good. But the problem is they're just using him for everything in the same way that I think Awkwafina is really good. Every voice character now is voiced by Awkwafina.
Yep.
And it's like, there's different choices, different places, different people you can use. And if you're going to use him in DC, use him. I just don't know if Booster Gold is the right choice. But
agree with that.
nonetheless, I think Billy Magnuson should get a shot at something. But that's a show you should watch. A franchise. It's a really good show. The other thing that you should be aware of is last week Steph took the title with 104 questions. Last week she crushed. Mike and Roxy did really good on Tuesday, and then we thought they had like 83 or something. Like, okay, well they're gonna take it. And Steph said, "Hold my beer." But we're only into to the third news story right now, John. You're 31.
Wow.
You're 31, so the audience is asking questions.
Let's go, people.
I'll tell you
Bring
what.
it on.
You know who else is asking questions?
Who's that?
Me, about the new Bourne movie, because I mean, the last one's fine. The first three.
Nice segue, buddy.
Thank you, buddy. The first three are really good. Hey, I had a good segue before.
Hey, I said it was good. I mean,
Oh, okay. The first three that was such my dad moment. You know who else says that? Me. That's who says it. You know who's getting out of town and going to Gainesville? Me.
this guy.
I'm going. Don't bother. But the Bourne movies, I really like the first three are just they blend in. This is a compliment.
Oh, yeah.
I forget which one's which when it comes to the Bourne because they all flow. It's almost like one big great movie. The first three. I didn't mind the Jeremy Renner one. It's just
I like the Renner one.
It's just a continue. It's just like in the same world, in the same way that like those John Wick Peacock shows are in the same world. You know, the last one was fairly forgettable. The Jason Bourne movie, which is called Jason Bourne, I think. So I don't know what the next one's going to be about. I would assume this time because of the Marvel success, you'd want to pair up Jeremy Renner and Matt Damon. I would assume. But maybe not. Let's see what this title is. I know nothing, John. I know nothing, Jon Snow. Here it is.
Oh.
The next Bourne gets a title.
Okay.
Berger said, back in November last year, came the news that All Quiet on the Western Front director Edward Berger, is that it? Berger, right?
Yeah.
Was in negotiations to develop and direct a sixth film in the Jason Bourne franchise at Universal Pictures. With Berger having finished his work on Conclave, which screened to get reception on the Fall Film Festival circuit, it looks like he might be moving forward with it. All right, where is it? There it is. New Production Weekly industry listing indicates that Berger has allegedly signed on to write and direct the film, which is currently going by the title The Bourne Dilemma. I like that. That kind of fits in.
Good.
That fits
Bourne
in.
Dilemma.
Yeah. No other details on story or cast are available, and it's not clear if Matt Damon will reprise one of his most iconic roles. I mean, come on. But don't do it then. For which aims to breathe some new life into the franchise. The original trilogy, Doug Liman's Bourne Identity, Paul Greengrass's Bourne Supremacy, Bourne Ultimatum, are still held up as a benchmark of a quality action trilogy. The more recent two entries, Renner-led Bourne Legacy and Damon Returns Vehicle Bourne, proved disappointments, as did the spin-off TV series Treadstone. Until they wrote that in the article, I forgot that show even existed. Do you remember that? I remember it now.
I remember that show, but
Yeah.
I never watched it.
No, I remember now that they said Treadstone. I was like, oh yeah, that was a thing. And I don't think I ever watched a single frame of it. So you don't do this movie without Matt Damon.
Yeah.
Don't. Even if you're training somebody new, you got to have him in it for 20 minutes. You can't. It didn't work last time. I liked it. We both liked it. It just didn't work last time, and you can't call it Bourne something. It's like, Bourne because it kind of relates back, and it's a Kevin Bacon thing. It's cut it out. Just don't do it. I like the director, and maybe that's because Matt Damon did say, and that was maybe last time he wouldn't return without Greengrass, but that was before Jason Bourne. Maybe now this time he's like, well, this guy's good. I'm coming. Maybe he can add something new to it, and I hope that they bring John Powell for the music because the music is just is the best. But what do you think? I mean, the title we're both in agreement. Great title.
Yeah, good title. Yeah, I like the idea of Berger coming in, right? I mean, there have been rumors about him doing a number of things. There are rumors about him coming in to do an Ocean's 14. They've been talking about him for as the James Bond director. So it makes sense for him to kick the tires on all these franchises and see what works. Again, I think this is a situation where a director should come in and have his own point of view and be like, okay, this is what I want to do with it. If they don't, and Damon needs to get on board with it, right? I mean, should I show you the box office receipts of the last few Matt Damon-led films? It's not going to be pretty.
Right.
Led film, not Oppenheimer. He's an ensemble in that. Led films.
Air.
Air just didn't do that well.
Great
So
movie
it's
though, but great movie.
it's damn good movie.
Yes.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, but
so
I
said, he should definitely find a new director to play around with and see what they can create and give new life. James Bond goes through multiple directors, and that character endures. This is essentially an American James Bond, as people have said numerous times. So he should be allowed to do this with numerous directors, and he should be open to it. So I hope that's what's happened.
I think
Burgers is incredible.
Yeah, I think he will, and I think I just don't think they've announced it yet, but I think he'll come back. I think I think they realize it. And the other thing is, speaking of Oppenheimer, as you saw last week, the report rather, is that the new Nolan movie set at Universal is going to star Matt Damon.
Yep.
So, why not? You're doing this big one with Nolan. Do another one of your franchise movies. Well, you still can do it. Look at Tom Cruise, right? Tom Cruise is still doing Mission Impossible. If you can, and that also could be. I mean, Matt Damon's like what, 52 years old, or whatever he is. He's probably. It probably goes into a lot of the consideration. And I'm not even cracking a joke. Is that Matt Serra asked me every time I get on the phone with him when I'm coming to his dojo to train. Right. This is a former UFC champion asking me when I'm gonna, and he's one of the best jiu-jitsu guys ever. One of the main reasons that it's hard for me to go is because of my schedule. It is very hard for me to go. The other reason is because I'm not a spring chicken anymore, and I'm worried about blowing out my back, within one guy choking me out, and the next thing I know, and I know Matt will take care of me and everything too, but that's me working out once a week at a freaking dojo as opposed to every day on set trying to do these big action stunts and everything. He's probably going, all right, what do I got one more left in me? Do I want to do that, or do I want to put on some pounds and do another air and just eat pizza? Because that's what did he have to do? He was a little overweight in that one. He was able to just kind of kick back and relax.
It was excellent.
It was excellent, but it's also probably in that. It's probably in him though too to say, I'll do one more. And I think it'll happen. I'm excited to see it.
He's 54.
Is he 54? Okay, he's 54. He looks good for 54.
I know he does. Yeah, absolutely. I agree. Matt Serra, you're lucky you live on the other side of the coast.
Oh yeah, you battle out Matt Serra. Good luck. Good luck to you.
We'll have a political discussion while we're fighting.
He didn't bring up politics. What are you bringing up politics?
No, because you said a few weeks ago that you'd like to have me and Sarah on.
I'd like to see, not on politics, just in general. Like he talks. He's just his stance on certain things when it comes to he does not hold back on certain things when it comes to Acolyte and other things too. To where it'd be hilarious to watch. Hilarious. Yeah, you're you should rephrase that. You're lucky that you're doing it digital. Is what it is. All right, let's get to the next one because we got a few.
Wait. By the way, have you ever seen this thing on TikTok?
No.
I discovered this over the weekend. It is a guy who imitates Dusty Rhodes.
Oh.
And he calls people up named Rick.
No.
And he challenges them to fights down at the Atlanta Arena.
That's absolutely hilarious.
Dusty challenging. And he does like the classic promos that he did against Ric Flair. It is one of the most amazing things. And I lost an hour of my life.
That is hilarious.
Watching it. Because it calls up people, random people, like just they're named Rick, and says, Rick there. And then this guy's like, yeah, hello. And he's like, Ric Flair, I'm gonna see you this Saturday down at the Atlanta Arena.
And it's him doing an impression. It's not like soundbite or anything.
No, it's him.
Oh, it's hilarious.
A total impression. And when they hang up on him, he just goes, "Oh, you coward, you hung up on me."
Oh, that's so funny.
It's genius.
I bet you, and because Cody is pretty locked into that stuff. I bet you he's seen it.
I hope so. It's a great bit on TikTok. Jesus.
Really.
Anyway, it made me think of it. Sorry. Go ahead.
It's hilarious. All right, let's do another one because I know you have been talking about one of the things that scares you the most in this world is AI.
Yes,
it scares the hell out of you. Did you see the Optimus robots that Elon Musk debuted?
Yes, the ones he stole from Alex. What's his Proyas? Yeah, the designs he stole from.
Alex did he steal it? Well, speaking of which,
yes.
Look at this. So have you not seen the story yet?
Yeah, the Tesla robots. I know.
Yeah, but have you seen the story? Have you seen the story of the director responding to it?
That's what I'm saying. Alex Proyas tweeted out, saying stop stealing my designs.
So Tesla CEO and co-founder Elon Musk unveiled prototypes for the self-driving Cybercab and Robovan coming from his company, along with having Tesla robots named Optimus interacting with the crowd, dubbing it the biggest product of any kind. Musk promises these autonomous assistants can be a teacher, babysit your kids, it can walk your dog, it can mow your lawn, it can get the groceries. I would just have it sit there with a shotgun. Just be until it turns on me. Just be your friend, serve drinks, whatever you can think of, we'll do. The design on hand immediately drew plenty of comparisons to 2004 Alex Price's directed film I, Robot.
Yeah.
So much so that the Australian-Egyptian filmmaker has responded on the Musk-owned social media platform X saying, "Hey, Elon, can I have my designs back, please?" The posting included side-by-side images of the iRobot anonymous police force to the Tesla bots with 2 models of transport in the film comparable to the new vehicles. Inspired by Isaac Asimov's short story collection of the same name, the film is set in the future world of Chicago in 2035. A detective, Will Smith, tries to unravel a confusing murder that may or may not have been caused by a member of the autonomous police force named Sonny. The film ended up earning $350. Who cares about how much money they did for this one? Okay, cute story, but look, I'm not. It's to me, it's. Did he steal the design from iRobot? I don't think so.
I mean, if you look at all 3 of the recent designs, yeah, if you look up that tweet, it's pretty close.
Come on, it's a humanoid. It didn't even have a face. Didn't even have a face. Those things. I would be more if I'm Transformers. I'm suing Optimus. if it's Transformers, like, hey, wait a minute, Optimus, and you can make the argument against Optimus also. He's like, yeah, he didn't say Prime, but I'm not. I think it's more of a joke by Alex Proyas personally.
You think?
Yeah, I think it's more of a joke. I mean, you can't. I mean, especially if you're going to actually do a real lawsuit, you're not going to tweet out about it unless you're an idiot. But like you're going to actually go and you're going to say, "Hey, we cease and desist on these things because this is the art from so and so that they did this." I think it was a goof.
I think it's close enough that it was close enough, and I'm sending you the picture right now. I think it's close enough that it's funny that he did it. Like it's funny that he tweeted this out, and it was a nice little shot at Elon.
Sure.
But I don't anticipate he'll actually sue him.
No.
But that being said, I mean, it all depends on, I don't know what proprietary rights people have on these designs or whatever. And I don't know if the director is the one who has the proprietary rights or the person who came up with the designs has the proprietary rights to even make a lawsuit in this situation. But I thought this was a nice needling of Elon, who certainly deserves to get needled until the end of time, for God's sake.
I mean, so I just was looking at it in how it was. Like these things are, it is crazy how we write our own future, right? I mean, they've been writing about these things way longer than anything like this was even capable of predicting this type of stuff. And this is like, and again, this is the 8-track version of it.
Yeah.
In telling you, 20, 30 years, these things, I mean, they're going to be walking around. They're going to be doing the jobs. They're going to be driving cars like the cars are going to be driving themselves. They already are.
Michael Vogel from the Geek Buddies took an Uber ride in one of the driverless cars over the weekend in LA, and he sent us a video of the experience. It's absolutely unsettling.
Yeah.
Yes, it's very comforting in a way because the voice they use to kind of be like, you have 2.6 miles to your destination. Please make sure your seatbelt is on.
It's like Total Recall.
To alert anybody. So it's like, oh wow, this is crazy.
Yeah.
And then yesterday I saw the video of the robot that is serving drinks at an event.
Right.
And it's like you don't even have to tip this robot. You can just get your drinks and move on. And it's like, oh my god. So,
I know it's nuts. And this is what for everybody who's involved in it, like we're in the beginning of it, right? So all of us, even the 20-year-olds or the old fogies at this point watching going, oh my God, it's going to be crazy. In 100 years from now, it's like, oh yeah, you remember those old farts that they're pushing back on this when we had to do our own stuff, when we had to do all this. It's like, it's just the evolution of humans, just laziness. You know, it's like Wall-E.
It'll be 2 robots hosting the Christian Harloff show 100 years from now.
Well, who's to say that's not happening right now? Someone argue, right?
What do you mean?
Someone argue.
This would be your dream, though, right? A schmodown of all robots. You could just tell them where to go.
Well, no, because they because they could access all the information. It'd be good, if you can. That's the problem. They could access everything. And
you want to give PJ Nervous Breakdown? Have him write questions for that schmodown.
For real, I wouldn't need PJ. I'll have Bimbot 73 ask. And that's what I wouldn't have to worry about. I wouldn't have to worry fact checking and all that.
Yeah,
I wouldn't have to worry about that. That's the beauty of it. Because I just watched a movie I didn't really necessarily love, but my 12-year-old wanted to watch. It was Megan.
That's a good movie. I like that.
It was better on this. Once I knew what it was better on the second watch. When I seen it in the theater, I saw Brett. I was like, this is so goofy, but it's kind of the point is how goofy it is.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
But it is. It's like one of those things, an AI doll. You know, every movie's now going to be about AI taking over, and that was James Cameron was like 40 years ahead of the curve.
100%, dude.
So
he put it in me, that fear of AI. He put it in me.
Yeah. That's. I mean, that was that movie. I mean, you know. It's still one of the best. People ask, "What's one of the best your favorite horror movies?" Non-traditional horror. It's my favorite. That's still my favorite horror movie. The first one. Yeah, totally is. Anyone argue against it? Morons. Yeah. All right, we have almost 40 questions already, John.
40?
Almost 40.
Guys. It's up to 75 for God's sakes. Come on.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, we can at least beat last week. We can beat last week's record, but
you gonna let Steph beat me? You gonna let Steph beat me?
It's gonna be hard to beat Steph. There's only three. There's only three people.
Sassy Steph with her smile and her new marriage and her outgoing personality and her charming behavior. You're gonna let that win you over an abrasive guy who tells it like it is, for God's sakes.
Yeah.
Don't be snowed over by that.
I think you just told yourself why you lost.
Steph has a pile of bodies in a basement somewhere.
Maybe.
I just know it.
Maybe she's too nice. But what is funny is that there's only three people that have made the 100 question club.
Oh yeah.
There's you. You still hold that record of the most, and then Winston, and then Steph. That's it. How about come on? You didn't like my Cowboys dig in the beginning?
I love that.
Okay, good. Good.
And we're going to be talking about that today on Game Time later on.
Yeah, good. You should make the whole show about that. And then the Mets got their asses beat by the Dodgers last night. Beat down. I don't see that. I'm not. I want a Subway Series really bad. Really bad.
We already had it.
Do you understand that I'm here now? That it's easier for me to go to Citi Field than it is to the Bronx. And if they make a Subway Series, I'm going to the Citi Field games.
Let me ask you a question.
Go ahead.
I had a friend say to me, as a Yankees fan, he said to me yesterday, and I've been a Yankees fan since I was like 10 years old. Since Reggie was in the series. That's how long I've been a big Yankees. He said to me that if the Mets ever beat the Yankees in the World Series, it is akin to what the Red Sox did beating the Yankees in 2004.
No.
And I was like, you're insane. And he said, well,
you
don't live in the city. You don't know what it's like in the city.
No, he's insane.
And I was like, there's no way the Mets are seen in the same level as beating the Sox or losing to the Sox. That's nonsense. Am I wrong on this?
No, you're not wrong. You're not wrong at all. But it would be a massive win because it's finally like the big brother that just keeps, pinning the little brother every time he can. And then that one fight they get into, the little brother finally wins the fight. Yeah. That's what it would be like. It would be like finally, and we got you that one time. We got you.
Right.
That's what it would be, and it would be a great bragging rights, especially this season when the Mets were like down and out and ready to they were done. Then they make it to the wild card, and then they're done against the Brewers, and they hit the 3-run homer, and then they're matched up against the Phillies, who are beating them all year, and they beat the Phillies. It's a great story. So if they do it and they beat then it would be a very memorable win. But the same as the Red Sox and the Yankees and the Red Sox beating them in that. No, your friend is wrong. Really wrong.
Is Finstock lathering himself up with baby oil? He probably is. Finstock with the Mets been doing so.
Oh, he was. I don't know about not right now. He's probably crying his own tears over last night. That was 9-0. 9-0 is brutal. All right, we're gonna get to these questions. We do, and I have two more things I want to talk to you guys about. Okay. Not only am I going to tell you about Mando, I'm going to let you know about our membership stuff. Let me tell you about that first. The membership stuff that we got going on, we started our membership, and it's combining also with the Patreon. And it's basically, I know that a lot of people, when you sign on to, when we tell you, hey, sign on to Patreon, and you go, if you do something on YouTube, I'm not going anywhere else. Well, we're doing everything on YouTube also. And not only are we doing the capes and cows, look at that. You got that is an exclusive comic that you can get on Patreon, and that's the whole crew. Everybody's in there doing has a character, and that's by the Great Wicked Art. And not only do you get the comic book, you get the Q&As, you get questions, you're going to get the unedited reactions. There's so much that we're going to be offering on both the memberships and the Patreon, so we hope that you guys will join today. There's exclusive questions that you'll be able to put in there. So if you want to become a member today, please do it. Hit the button. Thank you so much. I also want to tell you guys about Mando. Love Mando. Smell good. Smell better with Mando. Here it is. Hey, Mando, y'all been running around, working out, just walking. And you're like, oh, that stinks. No matter where it is. Your pits, your nuts, you need Mando. I like Mando because it's smooth, baby. But I like when I'm in the shower and I'm using any of the Mando stuff. I'm like, oh, I smell wonderful. And I didn't know how it was going to work before I even knew about Mando. And then now that I do, I can't go back. I love it. Deodorant is wonderful. It is safe to use anywhere in your body. You can use it on your pits. You can use it on your nuts. You can use it on your thigh. No matter what, your belly button, your butt. There's a lot of different variety of fresh scents that you can do. Bourbon leather is the one. I talked to Winston about one. That's the one I think he uses too. 12 hours after the shower, the average man's Grundle odor level was 5 out of 10. With Mando, the average Grundle odor level is a 0. Mando starter pack is perfect for new customers. It comes with a solid stick deodorant, cream tube deodorant, 2 free products of your choice like mini body wash and deodorant wipes, and free shipping. As a special offer for our listeners, new customers will get $5 off a starter pack with our exclusive code. Big thing. That equates to over 40% off your starter pack code. But you got to use that code Big Thing. Go to shopmando.com, shopmando.com. Smell fresher, stay drier, and boost your confidence from head to toe with Mando. Use that code Big Thing. All right, thank you to our friends over at both Mando and me. That's right, me, the memberships. John, we got a lot of questions that we got going on here. And before we do, where can people find you, what you got going on right now?
You can always find me at The Rocha Says on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. My YouTube channel, youtube.com/John Rocha Says. We just crossed 35,000 subscribers a few days ago. So I appreciate all of you subscribe. But if you haven't subscribed to the channel, head on over there, subscribe now. We got the Penguin reviews coming up later with the Geek Buddies, the Geek Buddies show, the Hot Mic. Jeff and I doing that every Thursday. The Jedi Way is happening. Winston and I doing a lot of stuff there on the channel as well. So there's a lot there for you all to enjoy, reactions and reviews and what have you. So head on over to youtube.com/John Rocha Says. Subscribe to the channel. Let's have some fun, ladies and gentlemen, please.
Love that. And I'm sorry, God bless you. Still doing the Star Wars show. I don't know how you do it. Okay, so Derek Johnson.
Hey.
Starting it off, Derek the Great.
Nice.
Setting some early love for the show on this Indigenous Peoples Day. Happy Monday to everybody. Thank you. Yes, absolutely. And then he also says, I saw Terrifier 3 and it reminded me of horror movies back in the 80s and just had no limits. Art has no limits on who kills. Everybody can get it, and that makes it suspenseful for me. The acting and dialogue is definitely not the best. Yeah, I mean, I don't know anything about it. And, you know, from all, I just saw like a bit of Roxy and Greg's reaction to it. And enough to know that it's not for me. Like even Greg in one clip is like, I can't believe they're showing that. I'm like, you don't need to show that. You don't need to show it. It's like, what? I mean, not for me. I don't need. It's like I get it. Like I was even watching like Megan. Like I understood. There's a part where they go and she's this particular thing that gets killed, and they don't show it. I got it. It was effective. It's like you don't always need to show, but I guess that's the bit. I guess in Terrifier 3 is to show everything.
Well, I mean, for a movie like that, that's what they're serving.
Yeah, that's the bit. I know. Okay, and so which Derek also follows up and says, are they still planning to sell Wolf? What is this? Are they still planning to sell WAF parts of WB? And do you think that they will hold off amid selling if the DCU does well? I
don't know.
I'm not WAF parts. WOFF parts of WB?
Yeah.
So, maybe I think he probably mistyped. Are they still selling? I would assume are they still planning to sell off parts of WB?
Oh, sell off is probably what
And do you think that they are holding off and selling if the DCU does well? Yeah. Have you heard anything about the DC or WB in general? Like,
no, I mean, just that the overall sentiment is that it's eventually going to happen, this sell-off. I don't know if they're waiting for the DC situation to pan out in a certain way, but maybe because if Superman Legacy or Superman comes out and it doesn't do well, then that could be a situation where someone comes in and buys Warner Brothers and then brings their own people come in and do DC, which would suck to start all over again. But no, at this point, there's no real kind of motion overselling Warner Brothers just yet. Yeah.
Okay. Mike Joyce says, after last night's episode, I'm rooting for Sophia. Everything that I've heard is that Kristen Milioti is just great in last night's episode. Penguin.
So,
oh,
I need people to understand how to watch a show like an episode like this, right? Like,
don't spoil.
Yeah, I'm not gonna spoil. All I'm gonna say is this: anybody who thinks Sophia Falcone had angel wings on her before everything that happened to her, you really need to watch the episode again. You know, she only took an interest in a certain thing when it became connected to her mom. She remained willfully oblivious to certain things that were going on to her father's empire. And what empire do you think she was going to be handed? It isn't a construction catering business. She knows what her father did. So this kind of altered reality people are existing in, that this was this innocent virginal person and she was horribly mistreated and then became this. No, things were already there. What happened to her was supremely horrible. And that just initiated her going in the direction that she went. So all I'm saying is that people need to really look at this episode a little more deeply than just good, bad.
Yeah.
It's not that simple. And that's what makes great writing. John McCutcheon, the writer of this episode, deserves a lot of credit.
I'm excited to see it. I'm excited to see it.
Performance.
Yeah, I'm excited. Armada, the new Pharrell movie had a $16 million budget and only an hour and 30 minutes. Might check it out sometime soon. What about y'all? I didn't do very well, but that's still, it's a smaller budget. But
Right.
Are you going to check that out, Sean? It's the Lego one, right?
Yeah, I want to. I like the Lego approach to things, and I'm a big Pharrell fan. So hopefully I'll see it this week. Yeah.
Okay. Hank Pym, I love seeing the rise of Terrifier. Art's the only slasher I actually like and features my favorite final girl in slashers as well. Merry Christmas. Like I said, people who dig this really dig it. Really dig it and really love it. And it has really taken off as far. It's like, it reminds me, and another franchise I haven't seen a single frame of, Saw, right? It reminds me of when Saw hit the scene, people wouldn't shut the hell up about Saw. Yeah, I'll never forget it. I'll never remember coming home, my old roommate and this girl that he was seeing at the time, they're like, you gotta see this. You gotta see this. I'm like, I'm not gonna see it. Like, it's amazing. It's so great. I'm like, not gonna see it. But everybody was talking about it. Everybody loves it. And I feel it's very similar. Yeah.
I agree with that. Yeah. It's got that kind of impetus behind it. People are into it. Yeah.
Let me see. Hold on. Let me get rid of this moron. There's a moron in there.
Oh no.
A guy by the name of Ron
Ron the moron.
Ron the moron is gone. All right. So Hank Pym, what the heck do you guys think Derek Johnson does for a living? I think he's got to be either loaded or just financially irresponsible. More power to him. Hey, I don't think he's financially irresponsible, but I think that he's just he's a really nice guy, and he's been here helping and supporting. And he's going to follow it up to answer that question for you. He said, Derek Johnson, I can tell you that I'm financially not hurting. I only give money to things that I support. I come here with all of you, and I agree or disagree, and that makes my day better. If throwing some money helps support, then that's what I'm going to do.
Respect.
Yeah, and he's in here every day being a contributor. Yeah. He's become a character on this show as much as you and I are, which is amazing. Yeah. Mad Sinister McCall. Art the Clown is number one. Harloff, a teen and mother, walked out of my theater in the first 10 minutes. Makes sense. Great gore, lore, and the baddest final girl ever. It's just so hard. I can't really speak on it because I have no knowledge on it. You know what I mean?
Right. Well, I'm impressed that a teen got their mom to take him to see this movie, because from what I've heard from the first two films, it's pretty brutal. So I would not be surprised that the teen is now getting a tongue lashing from his mother for dragging him to this movie. But yeah.
All right, let's see. I am going to now get to Roman Fedorak, who's another great supporter. Hello, awesome gentlemen and chat people. What are some of your least favorite remakes? Also, aside from Flash Gordon, a remake I would like also. What are some films you think could be remade? Thanks. There's a movie that I've been talking about forever that I always think that movies that should be remade are movies that had great premises and came out terrible. A movie that I talk about all the time is a movie called The Slugger's Wife. Do you remember that one?
I do remember that one.
And it's with Rebecca De Mornay and Daryl from Caddyshack. It's about the guy he breaks Roger Maris's home run record at the
Right.
time, and he's this is before the Bond stuff and all that. He was on the Braves when the Braves were stinking up the joint. Randy Quaid is in that, for God's sakes. But it's a movie, and it's Neil Simon, I believe, who wrote the damn thing. But it's just a bad movie, and I would love to see that remade. A remake that I hate. I'm gonna have to really look into it and look at all the remakes. But I'm sure there's ones I'm like, oh, you Red Dawn, terrible, terrible.
Man.
Red Dawn was terrible. Yeah.
I think Total Recall was a horrible remake.
Oh, I didn't mind it that much.
Speaking of Colin Farrell,
Oh,
I thought that was a terrible remake. Yeah, I don't know that any necessarily.
Okay.
Oh, the Ben-Hur remake was horrible.
Oh, that was bad. That was bad. That was a bad one. That was a bad one. That was a bad
That's
one.
one of my favorite classic films.
Yeah, it's a bad
and
one.
What they did to that was horrific.
Yeah, it was a bad one. Yeah, one that you wish they would remake.
What's that?
No.
Oh, one I wish they would remake. Well, there's a great I have a great '80s film that I love with Gregory Hines and Billy Crystal.
Oh,
called
yeah.
Running Scared.
Running Scared.
It did not do well in the box
Mm-hmm.
office. It is one of my favorite '80s films, and I
Good
wish. And Peter Hyams is a great director. For
Yeah,
that
yeah,
kind
yeah.
of stuff. And I wish they would remake that because I think there was some real potential in that story with those two guys. It would be fun to see. And League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, which I thought was not a good movie.
Yeah,
a remake would have been fantastic.
Yeah. I remember when we got when the Schmodown first started, Ellis and I, we didn't take it. You know, obviously, we would have done something like this in season 3, season 4. They would have had our head on spikes. But like, we did a question of true or false. Sean Connery was in the Avengers, and Riley goes false. We go nope. He was in the event. There was a movie called The Avengers that he was in, and
Uma Thurman. Yes.
yeah, and he was so mad. He was so mad. That's a trick question. I go, not a trick question. Straight up. He said, you did that to dupe us. Oh yeah, but you fell for it. Okay, Ronetta W. Hey guys, hope all is well. Thank you, Ronetta.
Hey.
I loved the Saturday Night movie and how they showed how chaotic it was that night. Every actor and actress did a great job. So funny. Transformers 1 is chef's kiss. The Penguin just gets better and better. I agree with all that, except I still haven't seen Saturday Night. Did you see it yet?
Oh, I loved it. Yes.
Everyone
My
loves it.
review is up on my channel.
Okay.
I absolutely loved it. Thought it was great direction here from Reitman and what he was able to capture. And all the actors, I thought, did a really great job of bringing these real life people to life in their own way. Dylan O'Brien is the standout as Dan Aykroyd, but I thought Kim Matula, who played Jane Curtin, was really good.
Okay.
But the two main guys, Cooper Hoffman, Gabriel LaBelle, they are such good actors.
You always run into a problem with movies like that when it turns into an impression as opposed to like a real character. Like look at even like something. Well, I mean, even if it's a character. Look at Many Saints in Newark, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Where, I mean, speaking of Billy Magnuson, I thought Billy Magnuson did a good job as Paulie Walnuts, and the actor that played Steven Van Zandt is a great actor, but it was a Saturday Night Live version.
I agree.
It was so bad, and I love that. I really do like the actor. I liked him in Umbrella Academy, and I liked him in that Past Lives movie. But it just it was just not good. And you can run into, and granted those are characters, but still you run into when anytime you're playing someone else, you know, from before, you can wind up playing a character. So I'm glad to hear that, you know, they came off pretty well.
Yeah, I'm a big Saturday Night Live guy.
Yeah.
So for me, I had a high bar, and I thought they did an excellent job of bringing to life the 90 minutes before the first show aired. This doesn't go back in time. There are no flashbacks. You don't get to see how they started. 90 minutes before the show airs, that's what you're dealing with. And I love the energy of that. I saw some critics be like, well, you take the drama out of it because we know the episode aired. And it's like, what? The Titanic sank, and we knew the Titanic sank.
That's silly.
What are you talking about?
Who played George Carlin?
Reese, Andrew Reese, the guy from The Americans, the guy from Perry Mason.
Is any good?
Great.
He's good at Carlin?
Great. Matthew Reese. He was in there for like 3 scenes.
He was good as Carlin?
Yeah.
Really? I said he was good as Carlin?
He was good at Carlin. He doesn't tell any jokes.
No, I don't need him to. He's got to have the cadence.
He's so upset about being there, and that's his narrative throughout the whole movie.
You got to understand that that's my guy.
Please.
George Carlin is like George Carlin is the whole reason I did stand up, the whole reason I did any of this stuff. George Carlin was like people, you know, can't be always told I pray to the altar of George Lucas. F that. George Carlin, it was everything to me. It was everything. So I always wanted to see a biopic on George. So I'm very curious to see how that's going to play. Mad Sinister Macau. Why are movies like Terrifier not rated instead of NC-17? I don't know how that works.
Yeah, I'm not sure how that works and how they're able to get away with that kind of stuff. So I'm not really clear on that.
Okay. 45 questions in, John. Not bad. Good start to the week so far, especially on a holiday weekend. Ralph. I haven't seen Ralph. Where's Ralph been? Ralph's back. Jude Law, Russell Crowe. Hey, it's Russell Crowe. Ryan Reynolds, Paul Rudd, Nicole Kidman, Idris Elba, Pedro Pascal. Whatever reason, these actors never worked for me. Oh, those are all good ones. There are some. Do you have any? Yeah, I'm sure I do. I mean, like, because everybody has those that they pop up and you go, I don't get it. I don't get it.
Oh yeah. Julia Roberts.
You know what? You're gonna get a quick exit to this show, buddy. It's not even. It's so stupid. And you put the two of them together. It's so stupid.
So angry. So angry.
No, just you don't besmirch her here.
Julie.
You don't do that here. I don't know. I have to look and see. Steven Seagal. I saw a video that popped up with Steven Seagal. It was pretty funny. Like it was a really old video, and these guys running at him. He's going like that. But it's not like from a movie. It's like it's like everybody's in geese and he's doing, but they're just like running at him like this, and he's just like throwing. It's like it's not even trying to pretend like they're actually. Nope, my 6-year-old could move past these guys. It was hilarious. It was hilarious. It was so funny. And I'm sorry, my 7-year-old. Ralph follows it up. Do you have any artists that you wish would just keep their political mouth shut because you love them and want them to keep working? For me, Mel Gibson and Sean Penn. Oh, too many to count.
Yeah, too many.
Too many to count and too many to name. Like on both sides. Too many. That just stop this. Too many people. Not even artists. Co-workers. I just want to be quiet. I was just talking about this the other day. Does nothing you think it does. Josh Needle. Rocha, I'm a Ravens fan, but Jaden Daniels is something special. Great game. Yeah, see you again in 2028.
Yeah, absolutely, bro. Good game yesterday. Look, I had no expectations of us winning. If we'd won, it'd been great, but I didn't anticipate us winning. But I mean, the fact that we went toe to toe with them in their home field for a majority of the game, we're getting there, and that's something to be encouraged about. But yes, Jaden Daniels, some of those passes, that's a guy who's making passes as if he's been in the league for 10 years. It's incredible. So yeah, looking forward to it. Hope he stays healthy and we have a nice run with this kid. I love it.
Giants are still eating it. Cliffs of more film reviews. Hollywood only cares about money. They don't care about art anymore. Quality film doesn't matter to them. Hollywood lost its way. Well, you can make that argument that that's always been the case. The problem, the question is that there's not enough. The thing was what always happens in the positive side of things at all these companies. There's always somebody who does get it. There's always the creative force. You look at look at Marvel, for example. Marvel is a big creative engine inside of Disney. And then you get that one creative force with business, Moxie also, and a Kevin Feige, and a guy like that, who's the reason why the people know his name and what he does, because he cares about the creative as much as anything else. There's tons of look at the dude in the executive that was that what's his face played in The Offer. Did you watch The Offer, Matt?
Oh yeah.
The guy he played, that guy was about as business savvy as it gets, but he had a creative vision. There are creative executives, and I worked with some of them. I mean, I use like David Gambino. David Gambino was an executive over at Warner Brothers, but as creative as it gets. He was a filmmaker by heart, writer and producer. And there are people that inside of the business that it's a matter of if they can get to that position where people are listening to them, because that's what you need to happen. The problem is with the business savvy get in charge. That's when it all turns to crap, because they're just crunching numbers and trying to follow the algorithms.
Yeah, and I don't think it helps to have the opinion one way or the other. Like, oh, nobody cares about art. Of course they care about art, because a lot of people get into this business on the executive side too, because they want to create great movies. They want to create art that people enjoy and make money off of it. But yes, you're also right that Hollywood is run by business. I've said this since Collided, which used to ruffle people's feathers that I worked with. Like, it's show business, not show make me feel good and rub my tummy. It is show business. So it is
Right.
ruthless. And so you've got to understand and read the tea leaves of what's going on. And it's not easy to do.
Yeah, and that's what I feel exactly the same way. I see people that I love that we used to work with, that tweet out these things sometimes that it's like they make like I'm like, and that's why you will never or should never work in the system, because you would lose the studio millions upon millions of dollars with that train of thought. The people who tweet things out of like, oh, you should just run that. Look, I love John Hoey. I bring up John Hoey all the time. Make Solo 2 happen. No. Not unless you want to lose money for the company. You would, or you're going to make it for $30 million. Like, in what world, if you care about the continuation of things, would you want to see that? It's selfish reasons. I just want to see another one.
Right.
Crashing Coyote. If you combine the budget box office of Joker 1 and 2 together, can you explain how it's a bomb? The way executives look at it, all the Joker 2 money made its profit. No, that's not how it works.
How do you know how the executive?
But that's not how it works. I know it's fair. It's a fair question if you're asking it, because that movie was made in 2019. So that money that they made, all that money back then, it went into other projects and other things and other projects that they have lost money on. It covered that. It doesn't work with like, oh, you know what, made all the money on Joker and we happen to make another one down the line. All that money is going to stay right there in the bank account just in case that one eats shit. No, it's not how it works. It's like all the money that movie made already paid for other things and paid for other costs and paid for. There are other Warner Brothers movies that have eaten duty since then. So no, it doesn't work that way, and that's not how they look at it, because that was if they were looking at that, then they should be fired, because that was 2019. It was 5 years ago. So
that's the thing, and I almost feel like George Bailey in It's a Wonderful Life is like, no, you're looking at it all wrong. Your money is in Dave's house and in Helen's house. That's how it is. They don't go, okay, we're just going to put a bank account and open it for the Joker, and we got all this money for the Joker. No, the money's all being used for their other stuff. And he
follows. He said because the 1.2 paid for the Joker 2 budget. No, all that 1.2 went to other places within the last 5 years. It doesn't just sit in a Joker bank account. It goes to other things, and it pays out other things, and then that's not how it works. It doesn't be like, okay, well, we made all that money we made 1.2. So we want to make another one. That's where the money's going to come from. No, they try to make more money from other projects to pay for it. So
when you run a business, you can't take 2000 profits and apply them to 2004 losses. That's not how it works.
That's not how it works. Ralph coming back hot today. Directors that deserve final cut privilege: Scorsese, Spielberg, Nolan, Tarantino, Villeneuve. Not Todd Phillips. I don't care if you made $1 billion. There's an argument there that agrees with you. That not if you just make $1 billion, you don't get final cut on part 2, and I agree with that. Yeah. I love Scorsese. I wouldn't agree on the final cut thing right now.
I don't think you want to hear something I never thought I'd ever say. I don't think any director deserves final cut anymore. I don't think any director deserves. I think
Nolan can get it. I think Nolan can get it.
I think you should have executives in there just in case. Yeah, and I don't think anybody deserves that necessarily. Counsel, maybe it's his cut that goes out and he approves it. Great, that's fine. But final cut implies like no one else is in the room and I will cut it, and you're just going to distribute.
This is my movie and this is the movie I'm putting out. It's like right. Corn Empire. Here's to the great John Rocha. There you go. So perfecto. And now we get to the next question. We're 52 strong right now.
Hey,
Josh Vaskovich. Kristian, you should be familiar with this by now. Hey, Rocha, who is the best music artist turned actor? You want me to give you a list?
Go ahead.
All right, you got Queen Latifah, you got Mark Wahlberg, Will Smith, Beyonce, Frank Sinatra, Madonna, David Bowie, Justin Timberlake, Jennifer Lopez, Lady Gaga, Jennifer Hudson, Cher, Barbara Streisand, Ice Cube, Mandy Moore, Bing Crosby, Elvis Presley, Ludacris, Ice-T, Dolly Parton, Mariah Carey, Rihanna, LL Cool J, Harry Connick Jr., Tim McGraw, Aquafina, Harry Styles, Tom Waits, Lenny Kravitz, Eminem, Tupac, Dwight Yoakam, Michael Jackson, even there, Dean Martin, Mos Def, Chris Christopherson, Meatloaf, Bette Midler, Snoop, Janet Jackson, Idris Elba, because he's a DJ, I guess. I guess that counts.
DJs.
I don't either. Bjork, Aaliyah, Deborah Harry, Courtney Love, Mick Jagger, Sting, They said Bruce Willis. I don't want to give Bruce Willis. No, it doesn't count. Jared Leto, Juliette Lewis. They came. They were afterwards. Yeah, for me,
you got to be a musician first.
You got to be a musician first.
Yeah.
I'd probably Will Smith's probably in there. Probably Will.
I think Dwight Yoakam is in there. I think Lady Gaga is getting there. I mean, I loved her in House of Gucci. I thought she was good in Star is Born, and I loved her in Joker too, even though it was another written role.
Ice-T's not bad. Mark Wahlberg, some pretty good ones. It's not bad. I mean, it's always the same. It was always the same thing.
That's what I'm saying. It's the same in SUV, whether it's a dead body or a live body. He reacts the same.
Okay, so now
I thought Sinatra was great too. Won an Oscar. Yeah, that's a rarity.
That's true. Corn Emperor. I hope that we get a Victor Crowley Hatchet versus Art movie. I can't say enough about it. Anything when it comes to the
Terrifier.
The Terrifier, I know nothing. Wayne Denny. I saw the show with Steph. Emily Ratajkowski or Julia? Julia, but Emily Ratajkowski is damn sexy. I'll tell you that because I talked about her on because she was in that DJ movie with what's his face, Zac Efron, and she's just blah, 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 blah. She's just next level attractive. Oh, you come on.
That's not my jam.
It's
not my jam. It's not my jam. I'd take Julia over Emily Ratajkowski, no question.
Oh, that's saying a lot. All right, so Julius Wyatt. Penguin is so good. How about them Cowboys? Go Dogs. Yeah, definitely not kidding about that. P.U. Mad Sinister McCall. My uncle, my dad, and Spider in my basement didn't watch Joker 2 because of my reviews. Beth Snyder, Todd Phelps, and studio dies in Terrifier 3 director's cut. Breaking headline from Mad Sinister McCall. Okay. Next one is from Hank Pym.
Hey.
What's a movie you thought would suck, but once you watched it, you loved it? Some for me would be Upgrade, Searching, and Crawl. I mean, I'm sure I have a ton of those.
Oh, Crawl was good.
I mean, there's a movie like I'm sure there's. I mean, I knew that there was. Oh, I can't. I mean, I literally remember saying, "Oh, Transformers 1."
Yeah,
Transformers 1. I thought it was going to be a stink pile USA, and it was one of my favorites of the year. So I would say that one. Yeah. Yeah. You don't got one yet?
No. Let me think about it.
Think about it.
I'll come back to it.
Tim Sim.
Hey.
Dropping by to say I'm not surprised with how Joker 2 is crashing in the box office, and I enjoyed Rocha's Geek Buddies discussion on super fan focus groups. All I can say is when they get out of hand, modern geek pop art will die. I don't think it'll ever die because it's a business.
Tim is such a... I love Tim, but Tim is such a fatalist. Tim is just like, everything's going to end soon. Hold on to your butts. And it's like, no, we've been battling this stuff since the birth of art, and we'll battle this stuff way past the life existence of all of us, for God's sakes. Art will never die. You can throw AI into everything. Art itself will never die. And there'll always be arguments about commerce versus creativity.
Yeah.
That'll never end.
It'll never end. It's me, Steve-O. Denzel in Strange 3 might be fantastic. The GOAT. What is that? Is he in Doctor Strange 3? Is that
Yeah, there's rumors that he's going to play Dormammu.
Oh, really?
Live action version of
Dormammu.
Like, when we saw him as a voice in Doctor Strange 1, he'd be more of an active part of Doctor Strange.
Did you see the clip? Did you see the clip that was going around? I've never seen it before. Of Denzel trying to do an English accent.
No,
it was brutal. Oh. And someone wrote in the comments section, "This man can do no wrong. Delete this now." I want to believe Denzel is perfect. Please delete this. It's terrible. It's terrible. It's like one of those. It's almost like Dick Van Dyke in Mary Poppins. Hello, Governor. Like it's like that. It's like that. It's bad. It's real bad. Tim Sim coming in to try to talk some smack now that the Astros are in the ground with flowers pushing up. Don't blow your shot at the World Series and the ALCS from having the last laugh. You can't. Your team's not in the playoffs anymore. You can't anymore. It doesn't work.
Go bang a trash can.
Yeah,
go
bang some trash cans. Top dog rig. Kristian, any pointers on how I can too marry my celebrity crush? I love the reaction videos with the wife. Looking forward to more. Yeah, I got lucky. And that's basically what it came down to. Because
your wife is your celebrity crush? Is that
no, they're saying because she looks like Julia Roberts.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. You kind of That's a little. We should explore that in therapy.
Who's to say I haven't? Yeah, it's funny because people were when we went to dinner the other night with some friends from New York, and the first time they had met Sadie, and they're just like, who do people tell you look like? And Sadie's like, she gets it all the time. And then someone in there goes, Julia Roberts. So yeah, she gets it all the time. Haskell 420. We're this much closer to Johnny Cab. Let's effing go. Yankees hit Johnny Cab. The best. As I still, as long as Benny's not there. Hey, Benny, screw you. Hey, Benny. This is the best. Such a great movie. Hey, Benny. Cinema Fan 324. No one is safe in Terrifier 3, including children. See, I'm definitely out. Definitely out. You start taking out children and dogs because you were pushing the limits. No, I'm out. I love it when people are walking out within the first 10 minutes of the movie. It's a gore fest. Yeah, no, pass. Serious pass.
They were doing that for Joker 2 in my screening.
What happened? Are you on a whole bunch of tabs or something on your computer?
What? No, am I?
Yeah, you're completely broken up. You must be your internet is
I'm not on any. I'm just looking at movies that I've watched before.
Shut it all down. Shut it all down. All right, here's the next one. This is Armada. Luckily, was safe during Milton. I'm glad to hear that. Did you see the crane that fell in downtown St. Pete? No. How's your family, Christian? My family as well. Thank you for asking. I saw that the Tropicana or the Rays Stadium roof kind of blew off the place, but most people the people that I know are safe. So hopefully that's the same for everybody else. John, you got a lot of friends in Florida. Everybody good?
Yeah. Everyone's checked in safe. It was where they were at. It wasn't as bad as some people had predicted. In terms of damage to their houses, but there was damage obviously to the roads.
You're breaking up pretty bad right now. You're breaking up pretty bad right now. I don't know what's. You want to
on the Wi-Fi? See if that's.
Yeah, see if that's the case, and I will
go back out and come back.
Yeah, go back out, come back in. We'll do it again. Okay, let's see. Now we are going to keep on moving. Thanks to everybody who's been here. We had 58 questions right now. I really appreciate that. And then Armada says, I rode in an Uber self-driving Tesla car this weekend, too. It's insane. The interface could even show the people walking the street ahead of the car. I'm telling you, man, it's going to be so crazy how, it continues. John's back now.
How might I look better now?
I think so. Let me just double check. I have to redo your shot. So for everybody right now, you're seeing darkness. You will see a shot. For
darkness.
You'll see darkness. I'm in the dark here. You understand? I'm in the dark. Should pop up in a second here. Just
what do you got?
Where are you? You're not in there? There we go. All right. You're still.
He's still bad, huh?
Little less. Just stay off the internet if you can. All right.
1 gigabyte. I have a high-speed internet.
Well, you're getting ripped off. So rode in an Uber self-driving car. Yeah, I'm telling you, I think that these what the tech's going to be like in the next 10 years, it's going to be crazy. And Derek Johnson, sorry, I meant sell off. Yeah. We figured as much. We just, when we were reading it, just came out a little weird. Evil John Madden, who says, I love the Geek Buddies, but John, it must be exhausting for you to try and make everything have a message or commentary on society. Did you ever just watch a show and say fun? Not everything is a social statement. Oh, no.
Yes. Every Jean-Claude Van Damme film, every Sylvester Stallone film, every Arnold Schwarzenegger film, every Steven Seagal film, most Bruce Willis films. A lot of those films I've taken for what they are. But you can drag my balls across your face because you can't see.
I was wondering. I was like, wait a minute. He's answered. I said his answer.
Who are trying to get you to see the message, and it's not my fault that you are an afterbirth of the education system.
Stop it. Be nice.
That's not on me, buddy.
Be nice.
That's not on me, buddy. That's on you.
Well, the good news is that you can't even probably see or hear anything that you're saying right now because it looks like you're like.
Now, what is going on?
I don't know. Bullshit. You want to start your computer up and restart it? And come back to that because
maybe that's
this is like working with Mike Kalinowski right now. It's usually he's usually the one with the best camera. Stinks. And see, Evil John Madden got Rocha so upset, just shorted out his whole system. Matt Sinister McCall, Diddy better hope he's not casted for Terrifier 4. Oh, Matt Sinister. Okay. Next one. We have a lot of great questions here. Thank you guys for everybody who's tuning in. Tom Talks Films. Do you think Joker 2 would have done better if it wasn't a musical or it was always destined to underperform since the box office changed after 2019? I think that if the music was toned down a little bit, it would have made the flow a little, but I don't think that changed the entire movie, to be honest. I think that there was a lot going on with the story. I think the ending killed the movie for me. I think leading up to it, even if we're going to tell the story that they did, I think the ending was just absolutely horrible. It was one of the worst endings I've seen in a long time. I couldn't disagree with Coy more. So no, I don't think it was the music that really. I think that people can lean on that and say, "Oh, they shouldn't have made a musical. That's what ruined it." I don't think that's accurate. Carlton Rudder, London Calling. Hey, Carlton, what's up, man? Started Slow Horses. Great show. Thanks for the recommendation. John, I hope you both are keeping well. I'll ask John when he comes back in because he's got to boot up his whole system. I'll ask him if he, I'll tell him thank you for the Slow Horses. Coin Emperor, unrated to show everything. Times have changed. Better to get people in the theater than hiding them from coming in. Unrated sells more than NC-17. Yeah, that's probably accurate. That's probably accurate. And I think that way people, because that's probably exactly what it is. Armada, so are they extending the Monsters Menendez show on Netflix? I don't know. Let me ask Rocha that when he comes back in, but I don't know if they're extending it. Does that mean just like adding new episodes? Is that what you're asking? Maybe. Okay. Derek Johnson, who was your first screen hottie? Mine was Selma Hayek, Desperado. She stopped that car and she's still an absolute smoke show. Well, for me, there's two. If we're talking about TV, then we're talking about Alyssa Milano. If we're talking about movies, we're talking about Julia Roberts. First time I saw Pretty Woman, I thought that was literally the prettiest person I ever saw in my life. Todd Lane, good afternoon. If DC was to get sold off, who would you like to buy them? I think Apple would be great. I always say Apple. I wish it would be Lucasfilm that would get sold off rather than DC, because I don't think DC needs to get sold off. I think they have a good team over there that they can actually do some stuff with. I don't think they need to do that. I think Lucasfilm is in the wrong hands. I think Lucasfilm just needs to be sold off. Daniel Reyes, Shrinking Season 2 premieres in 2 days. I'm so surprised. Is it 2 days? That is crazy. So surprised. I've seen zero promotions. I agree. And only found out from Twitter, but I'm excited now. Me too. I'm surprised that it's only 2 days. That's nuts. Rocha back yet? No, not back yet. Rebooting the whole thing. Disaster for poor John today. Okay. And then Derek Johnson.
You.
Oh, there you go. All right, we got perfect timing. Let's see. It looks better so far, but let's see if we can get you, John. All right. So John, while you're in the dark again, who was your first on-screen crush? You hear me? Great. We got a perfect video.
Hello?
Yeah.
Oh.
You're in there. Can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you fine, but you can't hear me. Perfect. Oh, wonderful. Nope.
It's weird. It's not happening.
I'll just tell him it looks good. Watch this. So this is the beauty of it. Looks good. Bad sound. Try again. Try again and pop in. Okay. Let's see if that works one more time. As he's gonna pop out again. All right. So Derek Johnson, I love the Geek Buddies, and lately Shannon has been cussing a lot more, which I don't know if he's noticed, and it has me cracking up. I'll ask all that. We'll go back in time and ask him all those different things. And to which Derek also says, if you could choose what movie soundtrack would be the background of your life, I'd probably have to say Karate Kid or Rocky. Those are the ones that I would choose. Those are some pretty good ones in mine. Mad Sinister McCall. I hate politics and I agree with Harlow's online take. It just doesn't do anything. It's like, for everybody who thinks that they're actually accomplishing anything, anybody who's watching this right now, and if you tweet anything political, like if you're like you watch your favorite news station, you watch something or you comment on it, the only people that are agreeing with you are the people that are already on your side. You're not convincing anyone on the opposite side to go, oh, you know what? He just tweeted that out and I didn't see that. You're right. I'm going to vote for the other person. It's just so stupid. I don't know. It's just people screaming at each other. It's absolutely, it's the worst. It's the worst. And it does nothing. You think it is. It does nothing. Top Dog Rig. Even as a foreigner, it's clear to me that pushing social and political agendas has become more important in Hollywood than telling good stories and giving audiences what they want. Thoughts? I think it's a mixture. I think that there's sometimes that they do it, and I don't think it's necessarily just to push the political agenda. I think it's because they don't want to get yelled at by other people. It's amazing how powerful that is. Like, they don't want to be chastised by other people to feel like they're the ones that are in the spotlight now for not doing what everyone else is supposed to be doing. And that happens. And there's other times where you can't win, where it's like, no, I'm just casting because I'm casting. This is a story I want to tell. And then people say, oh, you're just telling that because you're just trying to get yelled at. So it's really like a lose-lose overall, I think.
Okay.
Oh, there you go. Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. So let's see. Maybe we actually got you back now. We'll try it. I don't know what happened there.
That's weird.
Well, here we go. We're going to bring you back.
I blame you.
Oh, yes, my fault. So one of the questions that was out there was who was your first? You remember your first on-screen crush? It could be. I gave TV and movies.
Oh,
I gave Alyssa Milano and Obvious with Julia Roberts. How about you?
I guess Elizabeth Shue.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
One.
Good one.
Karate Kid. I mean, I was an avid watcher of Karate Kid.
Okay.
So Elizabeth Shue, and then Phoebe Cates right afterwards when I saw Fast Times.
Okay, Phoebe Cates. The other one was that someone Derek noticed that Shannon's been cursing a lot more on Geek Buddies lately.
Yes.
What's that all about?
He's just freer person now.
Oh.
He's just more open now. He's getting older too, so he's getting more cantankerous.
Okay. If you could choose one movie soundtrack to play in the background of your life, what would it be?
Jesus. Top Gun, I guess.
Oh, that's a good one. Season 2 is Shrinking. No promotion whatsoever. Coming out in 2 days. Were you aware? I know.
So,
Yeah, I wasn't aware.
the first season did well as well, Kristian.
I know. I loved it. DC, if it was going to get sold off, who would you want it to get sold off to? This person says Apple. Feige? Disney? You want him to go to Disney?
Like Vince McMahon, he would just own both of the WWE and WCW.
Horrible. Armada so it says they're. Do you know if they're extending the Menendez show? As they said, they're extending it. Did you hear anything about that?
I just heard that they're relooking at the evidence, and so they're gonna maybe open the case up again.
Okay.
I haven't heard about the show.
Oh, okay. And then Carlton said, due to your recommendation, he'd been watching Slow Horses.
Oh, good. That's a great show. Just finished up season 4.
Okay, so
you should watch it, Kristian.
I'm absolutely am going to. Gary Oldman's one of my favorite of all time, so that's not going to be a hard sell for me to get into it. But what's funny is that last night I was going to watch The Penguin because I couldn't do a reaction to it, so I was just going to do immediate reaction. But my daughter and I were watching Megan, and I said, after my daughter goes to sleep, I'll watch that and get it done. And then my daughter started asking me. She started talking about Queen, and she really was getting into Queen. So we started watching some old concerts, and I was like, I can either work or I can spend some time with my daughter. So I spent time with my daughter, and I watched some concert stuff with her, and it was pretty great. So, let's see next one we have. Oh yeah, and then someone said that Matt Sinners McCall said he doesn't like politics, and he agrees with my take about online politics, unnecessary. And then someone says, as a foreigner, it's clear to me that pushing social and political agendas have become more important in Hollywood than telling good stories and giving audiences what they want. Thoughts on that, John?
Okay, so the first one, it was about, well, I actually think it's important to use your platform as you see fit. If some of you are upset about that, that's fine. I don't agree with Kristian's point of view, and Kristian will get mad at me, but it's easy to have that point of view when you're a straight white male.
Stop that.
But when I am allowed to have my opinion as you are.
All right.
And I think it's easier for you to not partake. And I respect that because that's what you want to do. But those of us who do partake, I don't think we should be raked over the coals for doing that because in a way we're expressing our opinion and our beliefs. And I have had people DM me say, I never thought about the issue in that way. I've had many people do that over the years.
Yeah.
So
I understand. Listen, I understand.
I'm not making wholesale change.
Yeah. I get it. Look, I understand from where you're coming from to want to be a voice in the Latino community and be able to talk.
Yes.
I understand that. Yeah. My thing for you is that
Trump is an abhorrent person, but go ahead.
But we're talking right. But this is why I told you I think it is imperative for you to start a political channel. I think that
I know you're right.
I think politics for you. I think it's something you're passionate about. I think you love it. Look at me for the UFO stuff. I do a UFO channel separate, and I took it off of this channel in general. I think for you, this is my opinion on it. I think that it is something that and then you're tweeting out. That's your brand. That's what you do. I think for someone who's trying to build out a movie channel, who's to build out the thing, I think it hurts. That's my opinion. I think it hurts sometimes.
And I think you're 100% right. I think a lot of people who are starting out in the business, if you want to do both, like start out with politics and the movies, that's a tough thing because you're asking people to make the separation, and not a lot of people can. I was lucky to build my following doing the movie stuff with Collider and the Schmodown and what have you, and my other stuff with other channels and Kristian's help, all to this level. And then I started being a little more vocal and what have you. But that's me using my platform as I deemed fit. But I think Kristian made a great suggestion. He also has a great title for it. So I am looking for a graphic designer. I'm looking for someone who's willing to create really great graphics for a politics channel. And he was right. It's where I want to walk into. It's another amount of hours every day that I'm considering, but because I'm passionate about it, it's certainly possible.
Yeah.
The second part, I don't think, if you're a foreigner looking on, are you not aware of the cinema in your own country? The cinema in your own country is probably super political as well. Cinema is political everywhere. It's not about America. It's not about anything else that is just America. There's a lot of French political films, a lot of Russian political films, a lot of political films coming out of Italy, coming out of Spain. This idea that just America's only focused on this is nonsense.
Movies have always been political. But I think there are times when it overpowers it, and when there's always an underlining thing. I mean, shit. Look at Star Wars in '77.
Yeah.
It's always. The question is, can you overpower the movie that you're making, the genre and everything else with the, I think to me, that's the best movies is the under. When it's overpowered and it's like, well, this is clearly just pushing this. Right. That's when it gets like, I don't need to be beaten over the head with that because
right. The subtlety.
It's the subtlety.
Agreed.
That I think that's what it is. And I think that there are more American movies these days. And I can't also say that I'm so caught up in all the other countries that are making movies, so I don't know. But from what I know, I do think that there's more of that these days, that the overpowering of it, and I wish that the subtleness of it would come back because it's necessary. And for people who there's never politics in movies, there's always been politics in movies. It's just a matter of the subtle change. That's changed. Yeah,
exactly.
Derek, there's a movie on Netflix, Lumberjack, the monster, a psychopathic lawyer hunts down a serial killer. It's like Dexter hunting down Hannibal Lecter. Did you know?
No idea.
I don't know what that is.
Wow,
that's interesting.
The Lumberjack.
Yeah, interesting. Elusive Rock. Pour one out for the 10-year-old that was at my Terrifier screening. Oh my god! What? He only made it 5 minutes, but he's going to be messed up. Yeah, I'm not going to read the last part of it, but
okay.
Well, just because it was a ticket, he took a shot at the Yankees. I won't read that online. But
how dare you?
How dare you? But that's not. I mean, if he snuck in, but if he came in with his parents, and shame on them. I mean, come on, shame on them. That's like, what are you doing? Like bringing a 10-year-old, unless the 10-year-old just got him or herself there. I don't know. Yeah, not sure. Chris Granier, anime recommendation from you, Kristian. My Hero Academia. I've heard this. People have been talking about this. If you like Marvel and DC, it's right up your alley. It's so good. The new movie was great. I've heard some good things about this. Have you?
Yeah. Oh, I've heard about My Hero Academia all the time. Yeah, for years. Yeah. So no surprise you're getting it recommended to you. It's on something recently. I can't remember what it was.
Sure.
I think it's on Max or something.
Is it? Okay. So Chris Granier follows this up, and I'm not sure if Chris asked this last week, but this was on Capes, but he said that I'd like to see Jeremy Irons as Martian Manhunter. Thoughts on this idea? What we said was, I think he's just a little too old right now.
Too old.
Yeah, he's like in his 70s, isn't he?
And I think they want to go with an actor of color, just like they did with the original
Snyder
Justice League initially. So I think they'll absolutely go that direction.
Armada, Gary Busey and Cat Williams should be in the DCU. I would like to play a version of Robin, except I would only play his mask. Okay, you're gonna play his mask, Gary? That works. I can't do Cat Williams, but Winston can. So bad.
Gary Busey in the DC universe would be awesome.
It'd be so good. He wouldn't. That story. Anyway, Dennis Hoffman. I can't join live, but I got to throw in a super chat since Hot Mike wasn't live last week. I got to hear John's point of view on Zachary Levi's situation. Felt like the dude was going to pop off after Shazam. He still does he still have this Joe Carnahan movie?
Yeah, I think he's still in that movie, but he's not the lead in that movie. So, here's the deal. I mean, I feel bad because I like Zachary, and when you and Mark Ellis were very kind to give Matt Nost and I a shot at hosting for 40 hours that Nerd HQ event. Zachary was very kind, sat down with us, was on live with us, talking about what was going on there at Comic-Con. Really nice guy. I have friends who actually personally know Zachary and I've heard nothing but great things about him as a person. But, I think he's, he recently lost his dad. We don't know how that affects people. He's gone down these wormholes of the anti-vax stuff that, everybody has a right to go down the wormholes that they want to. But clearly, the loss of these films as well underperforming and the way they have the rejection by the Hollywood community and by film goers, I think has really affected him. And so he's gone this route and vocally came out in the way that he came out. But I also think it's a little bit of brand saving. No one's coming to see my movies. Let me find an excuse that isn't about me for why people are not going to see my movies. And I think that's the shame of it all, you know. Because I like Zachary.
Yeah, we talked about that as well on Friday. Todd Lane, hey guys, I was looking to start a Criterion collection. What are the 3 that you suggest that you must have? Go ahead, John.
7 Samurai 4K, absolutely start there. Shit, I'd have to look through a bunch. Tell you what, DM me and I will give you like 10 to start off with, because I'm not prepared for this question and I would like to answer it correctly.
Same,
so,
same. Haskell 420, the great Haskell, says Silo season 2 trailer dropped season 2 November 15th. Wow, I didn't even see season 1. Did you see? People love that.
Dude, there's so many Apple shows, man, that are in the queue right now. Rebecca Ferguson and Silo. I should totally watch that. A lot of people say it's good. Yeah.
And this Chris Graner says Maha is on Crunchyroll. I don't know. MHA is on Crunchyroll. What's that?
I don't know. Sure. I think. Oh, My Hero Academia.
Oh, okay. It's on Crunchyroll. Okay, got it. Julius Wyatt, what band artist do you want to see live at their peak? The Doors. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, Doors is a great one.
Doors. Jesus. Yeah. I would like to see the Doors in like 1967, 1968. That's when I want to see them.
Shit, you might have taken my answer, bro, because I'm a massive Doors fan as well.
I didn't realize that. Yeah, I have all their. Yeah, that was my Morrison and Carlin. Those are my guys.
Hey, I wish. Did you see the Eagles at the Sphere?
Mm-mm.
Someone put up an hour and a half on YouTube of 4K version of them at the Sphere.
Great.
Holy crap! I want to see the Eagles at the Sphere.
Cool. Yeah, well, it's funny. That's why we were talking, as I was mentioning with Queen for my daughter, where Adam Lambert does the stuff now, and he's fine. I mean, he's a good singer, but he's just. And then there's that other guy, Mark. What's his name? The one actually, I think he did the music for the movie. And he sounds just like Freddie. Oh, he sounds just like him, dude. And he does like a Queen thing also. So I don't know. I'd like to take her to go see. She really likes the band. So she's so adorable too. Because she likes Nirvana. She likes she likes Queen. She likes it. But the funny thing is too. She's like, because she gets upset because these people have Nirvana shirts on and they think it's a brand. Right, and she's like, and she knows like the band, she knows the albums, she knows like all that stuff. So, it's adorable. It's adorable. So Chris Granier asks, "Have you ever met Chuck Norris?" No, I've never met Chuck Norris. You, John?
No, I don't.
You would remember that. What is the best Chuck Norris joke you heard? Oh man, there's so many over the years. This kind of died down. But I don't remember. I mean, there's some great ones. That whole thing was that was like early internet stuff too.
Yeah, early viral. Yeah. Those were great.
Derek, this is appropriate for the 69th question.
Oh yeah.
Derek Johnson says Rocha loves the balls across the face. Mike loves to say the F word by dragging out the F, and Big Balls likes to drape. What are your other go-to slurs? Fuckface.
Fuck ball.
Oh yeah, I haven't heard that one.
I love fuckball. That's from Get Shorty. When Dennis Farina used it, I was immediately like, "Fuckball." That is genius.
That's good. Yeah. Fart bag. That's a good one too. What a good old fart bag. Anyway,
I like to use the C word with dudes now.
Oh.
I like to call certain guys C words. Yeah. I don't use it with the women. I use it with the guys.
You know what my favorite one is? The one at Dice. I only heard it. I was at the Comedy Store and I heard Dice say it on stage, and I took it right after I heard it and thought it was just absolutely great. I always credit him, obviously it's his, but it was asshole face. It's my favorite. Asshole face, so good. Like,
I love Dice, man.
I was just talking about. Oh, there you go. You just got 70 from Derek.
Nice.
So I was just talking about him. Like my favorite Dice would. You think there's no world where Dice could even get a 3-minute set off these days? Like the fact that he can even still perform in Vegas is crazy. Because
Vegas.
Just listen to any of this. That's true. It's Vegas, but you listen to some of the stuff that he said. It's there's no world where he'd ever be able to. I mean, the Generation Z's they listen to 3 minutes of it, their heads would explode. But He is absolutely the day the laughter died. Have you ever heard that album?
My God. I have that double cassette
It's
still.
the best. It's the best. It was like a random 2 nights in a New York Comedy Club with maybe 100 people in the audience. It's just like, where you going? Take a dump? And she's got some sense. She's leaving. It's a guy, jerk off. It's the best. Derek Johnson. My fave, as I've gotten older, is calling everyone chuckle fucks. It's a good one too.
Oh, chuckle fuck is good.
Did I tell this story? I think I told this to my friends.
Too.
Chucklehead's good. I told this story actually. I tell this when we can get out of here. Dice. So when I got made a regular at the Comedy Store, Dice was there all the time, and one of my highlights of my career was that Dice had to bring me up on stage because the way that they did it was in the original room. They would do it. They don't have a host during the original room. They just have the comedian before brings you up.
Right.
So I'm sitting there waiting to go up, and it was late, and my friend who's now passed on, Jeff, who was he was the keyboard guy, he was the best, and he was there playing the piano, and Dice up there, and Dice goes, "Who's up next?" And Jeff goes, "Christian Harloff." Dice had no clue who I was. Dice goes, "Oh, this next guy, you love him. You've seen him on Leno, Saturday Night Live. He's the next big fucking thing. Christian Harloff. I don't fucking know. Come on up." And I thought it was the best thing ever. I loved it.
How do you even finish a set?
It was the best. I felt like I was at Disney World.
Of course.
It was the best. Todd Lane, what is your go-to snack when you go to a sporting event? I love a beer and a pretzel. Those are good ones. I shouldn't, but if I really am going to go, you know what? I'm just going to go for the artery clogger. I do the cheese with the pretzel.
Yes.
Yeah, got to do it.
Soft pretzels definitely is the snack, and then of course a hot dog, but maybe nachos every once in a while. And I don't mean nachos with like the meat on it. I mean just nachos and
the
cheese.
Cheese with the jalapenos, right?
Yes.
Carlton Rudder, make that 72. Thank you, Carlton. And then Armada, I'm still waiting for the return movie trailer with Ralph Fiennes. Yeah, it's based on the Odyssey. I want to see that too. Yeah, have you heard about that one?
No.
It's like it takes place at the old school. It takes place like during the Roman times, I think.
Ooh.
Yeah.
All right.
Women
think we're talking about the Roman Empire all the time.
That's right. Well, that's it. We're done. We did it. 74, John.
Hooah!
That's a good day.
Beat that, Steph, and your big old smile and your charm.
That's right. You're going to get...
That's Steph Sabra.
You got to worry about Roxy and Mike, I think, first.
That's right.
And we'll see. But don't worry about Steph yet. Thank you, John, for joining us. Real quick again, where can they go to find you?
At The Rocha Says on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, The Outlaw Nation on Twitch, my YouTube channel, youtube.com/John Rocha Says. Come and enjoy us on the Geek Buddies, on the Hot Mic, on the Jedi Way, my reviews and reactions, everything that's going on there on the channel. Occasionally an episode of Spill the Tequila pours out with me and Winston A. Marshall as well. Come and hang out with us, the Outlaw Nation channel. Thank you, Christian. Thanks to everybody. Have a great Monday, y'all.
Later. Bye, guys. So Stephanie Litz says that Andrew Dice Clay did a set at Kill Tony. I saw that. I need to watch the set. I wonder how it did. And then also Armada follows it up, says Dice was on Kill Tony. Hilarious. Also great IG follow. He's an amazing IG follow. I love his whole thing when he goes up to people. Yeah, you said you wanted to take a picture. No, you wanted to take the picture. It's the best. Thanks for joining us here, guys. Really appreciate you. We'll be here tomorrow. I'm not sure. Roxy will definitely be on. I don't know if it's Mike. I don't know if it's Brett, but it'll be one of the two. I think I'm going to move Steph to Thursdays. I think Wednesday I'm going to have Mark Paul Gosselaar on, and it's going to be a really fun show. So I hope you tune in for that. And that's it. We have reactions coming. We got a whole bunch of things coming this week. We'll see you on the flip side, guys. Bye-bye.